Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hangout with Coach Kerry. I'm really excited about today's episode because we're going to be talking all about you and how you can have a lot more energy to get through your day. You won't be frustrated and struggling trying to get everything done. So we're talking about your health and well-being today, and that is as important as all the tips and strategies that you usually get from me on my episodes. Today is an expert interview with a woman that I know you're going to love to hear. Her name is Rosa Coelho, and she is an international coach, health and nutrition coach for people that she's worked with around the world. I'm going to have her tell you a little bit more about herself, but she's passionate about working with people just like you. I suspect you've come to watch my shows, watch my videos, because you are looking for tips and strategies on how to be more successful in business. And I balance out my tips and strategies quite often with people who can round out all the pieces that I know need to be in place in order for you to be successful. So Rosa, welcome to this episode. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Thank you so much, Kerry. I'm really excited to be here as well.
Good, excellent. So tell me a little bit more about you and your story, and then we're going to get on to the 3 mistakes that women make that keep them overweight and exhausted. And struggling with that. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Great. Well, my journey actually didn't start off as a personal trainer. I started off as a school teacher, and I really enjoy teaching. I loved being in the classroom. What I didn't enjoy, or what I found more than anything, was I was speaking to the children about health, about personal development, about bettering themselves. And so I realized that it was the subject that I no longer was passionate about. And so I then searched for a way that I could have a career where I was teaching what I love, which is health. And so I fell into personal training. I met a woman who had changed careers to become a trainer, and she inspired me. And before you knew it, I was on the path of changing careers. That was 8 years ago now, and I've never looked back.
Wow. So share with our audience some of the people that different kinds of walks of life of people that you've worked with.
Well, I've been very fortunate, and thanks to the internet and learning how to blog early on, I've had people reach out, and I've worked with royalty in Saudi Arabia. I got to go for a couple of weeks and actually live in the palace with the princess and train her every single day while I was there. And I worked with a couple of UK celebrities, great presenters, people that are on TV, and stay-at-home moms as well that have gone from the corporate world and now find that they're at home with their children. So I've been very fortunate to work with a great variety of women.
Excellent. Well, let's get right into the meat of today's episode. So you say there's 3 mistakes. What's the first mistake that women are making that keeps them struggling with their weight and their lack of energy, their exhaustion?
The first one will be that I'd like to address is exercise. And often the women that I've worked with feel like they need to do long workouts, and they focus a lot on the cardiovascular workout rather than resistance training. So you can actually get incredible results with short workouts so long as they're intense. Consistency is key. You're better off doing something and moving your body every single day rather than just leaving it to the weekend and doing an hour to an hour and a half, or some people are working out for 2 hours. It's just too long on top of what everything else that professional women are doing. They've got long days.
Okay. So one of the mistakes is just misunderstanding what really exercise is and how much exercise they actually have to do and what kind of exercise. So you like to recommend people use kettlebells. Is that correct?
Yeah, kettlebells are my favorite, and I've actually got one in the background. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah.
The reason I love kettlebells is I discovered them early on in my career. They're wonderful for women in that they work our posterior chain. They lift our glutes, and every woman I've worked with, they say that their bottom lifts a couple of inches, which is amazing. And that we laugh and it's great to look great, but it's also very important. And when we're sitting for long periods of time, our glutes, they become inactive, they become stretched. And so the kettlebell is a great tool for targeting those key muscles and also for your lower back. What I love about it is there's a move called the kettlebell swing that will also bring in cardio. So you can do your resistance and your cardio at the same time and save a little bit of time for those busy days.
Oh, so that's multitasking at its best then.
Absolutely.
That's great. So tell me, what's the second mistake then that women are making?
The second mistake I'd say has to do with nutrition. For most people, it's not that they're overeating, but that they're under eating. They're just going through their day, and at the end of the day, they realize they've eaten so little. And there's a large focus on calories as opposed to nutrients. So with my clients, we don't count calories. We count the amount of colors that we've had in the day and how many nutrients we put into our body, because food is energy. So if we're eating food that is bright and live and vibrant, then that's how we're going to feel as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I see so many people they're counting calories or not eating something because it's got fat in it. But again, I'm sure you work with them on what's good fat and bad fat as well, because you need that in order to sustain the energy, and in fact to burn calories, you need those things.
You absolutely need good fat, and I am not an advocate of low fat anything. I have a full fat everything, and there's many there's vitamins that are only absorbed when we have fat, so we become nutrient deficient if we're not getting those good fats in and those colors in. And I'm finding nutrient deficiency is the biggest problem, and that's why we're lacking so much energy.
I have to say I'm pretty tired of all of the products that I see that have zero fat, and yet you look at the rest of the ingredients and there's so many other bad things in it. So would I assume that you look at, you encourage people to eat things that don't have a lot of processing and that are pretty whole foods?
Yeah, 100%. And Kerry, it kind of goes actually beyond that. Most people know if it's in a box, or they know if it's processed or not, and they're making those choices, whether they're good choices or not good choices. What I really get my clients to look at is those so-called health foods that we think are good for us, and we believe we're making a good choice, and actually we're just having a chemical concoction. And one good example of that is all these cafes that have sprouted everywhere. If you go in and you're buying a salad that's pre-packaged, I encourage you to look at the label, because here you think you're having this salad that might have 5 or 6 ingredients, right? What you see is what you get. However, when you turn it around to look at the ingredients, the list is endless, and really you realize that it's a chemical concoction that you're putting into your body.
Yeah, that's good. So I guess you would encourage people to read labels. That would be one great strategy. It's pretty simple to read labels. Yeah.
I mean, the best food is the food that has no label. That's the first thing. But it's not always practical. We live in a modern world, and sometimes we're in a rush and we've got to get something on the go. So yeah, in those situations, you definitely want to be looking at your labels.
And so what would you consider to be a good, healthy energy snack, let's say? Would you give our listeners here today maybe a tip or a strategy on what would be good for them that they could have, that you would say would be a good thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the other day I caught myself out a little bit longer than usual, and I didn't have any snacks with me. So I quickly ran into a grocery store and picked up some almond butter, and then I grabbed an apple as well. So I love apple with almond butter spread on it, or you could do the same thing with celery sticks. If you're really hungry, there's nothing like a small handful of nuts and a piece of fruit to make you feel full. Another thing I love to do is go into grocery stores and quickly grab an avocado and slice that in half and have an avocado. When you're hungry, this good fats are going to make you feel better quite quickly.
Of course, you probably keep a knife in your car and everything else, but that's all part of the planning, isn't it? To make sure you've got all of the instruments, don't you? Yeah.
I do. I have to say that I do. But there are some things that you don't need that for. Even with the almond butter, if you can have like a little plastic spoon with you or something like that, if you don't want to be carrying knives with you.
Yeah. Okay, so what's our number one mistake, or actually our third mistake then that women are making? I'd
say the third mistake is, it really has to do with mindset. I find so many women focus on what they want to change. I don't like this, I don't like that. But really, what I suggest is you look at your body and you say, what do I already absolutely love about myself? And this is an exercise I make all women do that I train, is they look in the mirror in the morning and they go, yes, I love this. I love my arms. I love this line here. I love this. Because through gratitude, you're going to create an amazing energy, and you're going to get more of what you want, but you're going to appreciate what you have. So it's okay to want to change your body. It's okay to want to improve, but it doesn't have to come from a place of not liking yourself. You can love yourself today and just want to be even a better version than you.
You know, it's interesting because I work with my clients on setting goals and, you know, doing planning. And one of the things when I have them do that as often as they'll say is, well, I don't want to be in debt anymore, or I don't want to, you know, struggle like I am. And what I say is, well, when you're doing that, you're looking backwards. You're looking at what you don't want versus what do you want, which is looking forward. And if you believe in law of attraction and that energy, you want to be looking forward. So what do you want? And focus. So it's interesting that you would do the same thing in terms of mindset around weight and health and energy and all of that. It's not focusing on what you don't want any more of. It's more focusing on what you do want. And it comes from a very inspiring place as well. As you said, that it has a lot of energy. And then, you know, so often we're on a program like this, you know, sustaining it over time is the key piece. And so mindset is probably, would you agree, that's one of the key components of sustaining, you know, that change and those new habits?
Oh, absolutely. And I've always said to people, the principles for success and a happy life are the same, whether you're focusing on your business, whether you're focusing on your health. The important thing is just those habits that we create. So, you know, I really believe in bookending your day, starting off with a great morning routine and ending with a calming evening routine. And when you fall off and you don't quite make it, rather than feeling horrible and getting into that whole guilt cycle, just reflect. You know, why did that happen? And when we start to reflect and see the reasons that maybe didn't have us achieving what we wanted that day, then we come from a much more empowering place. And then the next time that happens, we catch ourselves a little quicker.
Yeah. And I think that I find a lot of times too, I work with my clients on, it's not an all or nothing, because, you know, yours is around health and nutrition and mine is about, you know, keeping your habits and your structures around your business. That, okay, so today, you know, there was a list of things that you wanted to do and you didn't get them done. That doesn't mean that now forever you won't. It's just today you didn't. Okay, what did you learn from that? Maybe the question is, what new structure or system do I have to put in place to support me accomplishing what I want to be able to accomplish? And tomorrow's a new day. Start again with a clean slate.
Absolutely, I agree. And just to take that even one step back, Kerry, is often if people, when it comes to the health side of it, whether nutrition or exercise, it's partway through the day, people have done something that maybe they hadn't planned and it hasn't gone so well, or the morning didn't start off great, and then the whole day is a write-off. So I like to even look at the day in sections and just think, that's okay, that was the morning, now I'm going to have a great afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think everybody wakes up in the morning and says, okay, today's the day I'm going to eat really well. And they probably start off really good with a breakfast. And then come mid-morning, something happens and they end up snacking. You know, somebody brings donuts into the office, or you're meeting somebody for coffee and you have a mocha or something like that. So the idea is that doesn't mean the whole plan is lost. It just means, okay, I slipped off the wagon a little bit. Then from here forward, I can get back on the wagon again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what other sort of, so you've dealt with the three mistakes that they make. So one of them is about really having the wrong nutrition. That was it, or sorry, the wrong exercise, so that they feel that they need to do these long exercises, these, really long workouts. And that's hard, especially when people are really busy. And so maybe they don't even do it because of that. Would that be true?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's something called the compound effect. And that's where every little bit throughout the week will add up. So I'd rather see someone exercising effectively for 10, 15 minutes each day than to just do everything on one day.
Okay, so that's great. That's a great takeaway for everyone
Mhm.
here. Then the second one is really understanding what nutrition is and what kind of foods and eating the right things and making better choices all the time. And as you said, something without a label is the best choice.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to do. So, and then the last one is, making sure they've got their mindset all for success, that they continually work on the positive versus working on the negative, and looking for what they want to get out of what they're doing versus behind. So if I kind of summed that up pretty well.
Absolutely. That was perfect.
Okay, so what sort of final encouragement would you give people? And then I would love for them to know how to be able to get a hold of you online, because a lot of the people watching this are not local to wherever we are. And I want them to be able to find out how to get a hold of you. They know they can find me at HangOutWithCoachKerry.com, as they can see written down here below.
Yeah.
What are some last final, bits of inspiration, and maybe another takeaway for everyone here, and then how they can get a hold of you, Rosa?
Absolutely. I'd say two things. One thing is just be kind to yourself. I think women are so hard on themselves. So number one is be kind to yourself. And second is take some time to learn. Take some time to learn about nutrition, about exercise. There's so many great resources online. I really believe when we start to learn, it's then much easier to implement. And you deserve that time to learn about you and what works for you. So be kind to yourself and take the time to learn about health. And everyone,
I'll just throw in one thing in there. I think that my experience has been is that when people will say, well, I don't like broccoli, just for an example. Well, taking some time to, rather than just saying I don't like broccoli and discounting it totally, is saying, okay, what are some ways I could actually eat broccoli that maybe I might be interested in it? Or is there a flavoring or something I could add to it, or being open to it versus just immediately discounting it? Would that be part of that piece about learning as well?
absolutely. I love that you just said that, because our bodies and our palates actually change. You can change your palate over time. I wish I remember the name so I can give him credit, but there's, I've heard recently of a coach and what he does with his clients for their children, but everything for children works for adults as well. I know that from being a school teacher. Is what he first did is, he slowly would mash the food and hide it, and then he would cut it in tiny little bits, and then eventually, so slowly he would bring the food up until like a broccoli. So first you're gonna mash it and really hide it, maybe in some tomato sauce, and then the next time you're gonna try little pieces of it, and just make it a progress and do it over time, and your palate will change. It's so incredible.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know for me, my desire for sweet has shifted so much that if I have something I've had before that we used to be, I didn't think that sweet, and now I have it, it's so sweet that I don't want it anymore. And so we really can adjust that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. I had somebody tell me, "Oh, my body's craving." So actually, maybe this is a good question for you. How do you handle a comment that somebody says, "My body's craving a Mars bar," or something like that? Um,
That's a really good question. And there's this whole area of emotional eating that I don't want to discount, but often cravings are coming from blood sugar imbalances. So it means throughout your day your blood sugar levels have not been stabilized, and so when your blood sugars are going up and down, your body's all over the place, and so you will crave carbohydrates. Another thing is nutrient deficiency. So if you're not eating enough nutrients, what happens is your body, the way it gets nutrients is eating. So it's going to say, okay, I need food in order to get these nutrients. And so you grab for these different foods. And I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this, where they eat, but they don't feel satisfied. And
yeah,
that's where the cravings
absolutely.
are coming from.
Yeah, very true. Great. That's a really good way for people to be able to look at that.
Yeah.
So Rosa, you've obviously got lots of knowledge. And we just, really just skimmed the surface of health and nutrition for, busy women that have so much on their plate that maybe they've been neglecting it, and they're struggling with weight and they don't have the energy. How can they find out more about what you offer and get more of the information that you have?
Brilliant. Well, there's two ways. One is my website, roccofit.com, and I've got a lot of free information for you there. I've got workouts, videos, and even recipes. I'm not a great cook, so I train myself to cook, and my recipes are all simple. So if I can do it, you can definitely do it as well. So that's on roccofit.com. There's a lovely ebook that's free for you there as well. It's called How to Lose 2 Inches in 2 Weeks, the healthy way. So there's no calorie counting and no crash dieting. It's hard work and some simple truths that will get you there. And then also I have my Facebook page, Facebook.com/RocoFit as well.
Great, excellent. Well, thank you so much for your inspiration today. I really appreciate it. For those of you who are watching this episode, please comment down below and get some feedback, and I will, or ask some questions, and I can get Rosa to answer them for you as well if you have some burning questions. But please do go to her website and check her out. And then don't forget to go to my website, HangOutWithCoachKerry.com. Kerry spelled Kerry. And again, you can grab my ebook there, How to Get Out of Overwhelm and Accelerate Your Results Now. You can get a free download, and along with that, you will get updates on upcoming episodes and past ones as we remount them again, because we think they're of interest to you. So everyone, thanks so much for your time. Thank you, Rosa, so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye, everybody. Until next episode.
Bye.
Be inspired. Bye-bye.